Um, um, Now, rainforests are being cut down. People have talked about frogs being killed all over the place, but there are also people living in those rainforests. And in fact, there's some new groups that have been discovered there that have never seen white people before,
Yep.
that have never seen cities before. Can you tell us about any of that?
Well, in the last year, there was some contact with previously uncontacted peoples in the western Amazon, and they basically wanted to be left alone because I think they found out what happened to people nearby who had been contacted. They
Really? How did they
died
find that out?
because there really is a jungle grapevine, and word does travel through the bush, and they see that
Okay.
people who once lived next to them have been killed off. Either
Hmm.
the whole tribe's gone extinct, or 90% of the people have died, and they want to be left alone. And that's one of the reasons they're still there.
Okay. So they are really trying to be left alone out in the rainforest, but people are coming in and cutting the rainforest down, so they're not being left alone. What are the governments trying to do to help them? My understanding is that you have some mapping projects or something like that.
Well, at the Amazon Conservation Team, we've been training people to map their own land. So, in some cases, we've got Stone Age Indians walking through the jungle with GPSs. It's kind of a perfect combination of ancient shamanic wisdom and 21st century U.S. technology. And I think the sweet spot is somewhere in between. Whenever I
Mm-hmm.
uh, give talks, particularly in Berkeley, people say, "Oh, ethnobotany, cool. I'd never go to a doctor." Well, that's great because if you have insomnia, there's shamans that can cure it. But if you have appendicitis and you go to a medicine man or a nutrition therapist or a pet therapist or a music therapist, you're going to die.
Hmm.
So no system has all the answers, and some combination of the best of different systems, I think, is the best approach in many different ways.
Now you said shamanic wisdom. Do you mean that people are ashamed of something? Is that what you
Well,
mean?
shamans are medicine men and medicine women. Used to be called witch doctors. They are the keeper of the laws, the giver of medicines, the singer of the songs, even the psychopomp, the person who conveys souls to the underworld. So in our culture, if you're sick, you go to the doctor, and if he can't help you, you go to the psychiatrist, and if she can't help you, you go to the priest or the rabbi or the imam. If they
Mhm.
can't help you, then you go to the therapist. With the shamans, it's a one-stop shop.
So, can you give me examples of some of these people? What are the names of some of these groups, and what distinguishes one from the other, for example?
Well, each tribe certainly has its own language. Sometimes within a tribe, you'll have sub-tribes, typically living in different villages, who have different dialects of the language. It's kind of like I grew up in the South, and we don't speak English the same way as people do in New York. They tend to be mutually intelligible, but they're not quite the same, different accents, a different emphasis, different expressions. But pretty much, if you look on a genetic basis, all South American Indians are descended from a common ancestor, as well they should be. Although you do have some what we call isolates, groups whose language doesn't match up with other people,
Mhm.
whose genetics don't match up with other people. So the mystery's still to be solved.
Okay. Now, when you speak about shaman, you're also talking about medicine, and shaman have some. What do they have to do with medicine? How does that relate to what we need here?
Well, really, if you think about Western medicine, it's essentially built on a couple of pillars. One is chemistry, what's in the pills they give you. Another is procedures, like invasive procedures like surgery, and then some technology like CAT scans or x rays. But shamanic medicine, the medicine man and medicine woman's medicine in the rainforest is based on chemistry, which is what's in the plants. And secondly, what we would call the placebo effect or the spiritual
Mhm.
effect or the invisible effect. The way they work in ways that we still don't understand and can't fully explain, but do seem to work in some cases.
Can you give me an example of one, I don't know, vanilla bean or what is some plant that has contributed to the improvement of Western medicine?
Well, we talk about French vanilla, but vanilla is not from France. It's originally from Mexico. We talk about tomato sauce being from Italy, but the tomato is actually from Central and South America. We talk about Swiss chocolate, but chocolate's from the Amazon. And we talk about Irish potatoes, but potatoes aren't from Ireland. They're originally from the Andes, the mountains of Western South America. So, world culture has been heavily impacted by South American plants and the knowledge how to use those plants, which is possessed by the people themselves,
Mhm.
not by PhDs from Harvard, not by MDs
Mhm.
from Yale, not by people with master's degree from Oxford and
Mhm.
Cambridge. Much of the utility of
Mhm.
these plants comes from what these local peoples know and use.
Now, a lot of your technical knowledge, though, does come from some of these Ivy League institutions. So, where did you get? Where did you study?
Well, I have a master's from the forestry school at Yale, and I have a PhD from Tufts, and I had a research associateship at Harvard. But really, the place that I learned the most about healing and about plants and about conservation and about the rainforest is the Amazon itself.
It's the Amazon itself. So that's where we need to look for the future of Western medicine. Is that what you're saying?
Well, look, Western medicine is the most successful system of healing ever devised in the sense of its breadth and its depth, in terms of its knowledge of human physiology, in terms of chemistry, in terms of infectious diseases. Okay, that's all well and good. But Western medicine still has holes in it. I mean, where's the cure for drug-resistant Staph aureus? Where's the cure for pancreatic cancer? Where's the cure for depression? Where's the cure for schizophrenia? Where's the cure for insomnia? And the answer is there's no answer as of yet in Western medicine. And part of the answer, I think, comes from the natural world, the Amazon, or plants or fungi anywhere. But in the Amazon, the knowledge of those plants